Hi everyone, Matt at the Koi Place here. Today I'm going to show you the process of how to build the brush boxes that go in our Japanese style filters, the horizontal flow filters. So first of all, we have all the components cut down for us. So we have a lot of these strips cut down. A local company cut them down for us. They've got a better saw than us. They can get it on a big table saw and cut them to the millimetre, so perfect. So the first process is, these are the sides of the brush box. I'll show you the brush box. So that's what we're constructing today. So these are the sides, and I have a template ready cut out, so it matches the same size as that, and also it's got holes drilled to accept the brushes. So the brushes go through these holes, and then we bend over the ends to hold them in place. We also do the same for the small brush boxes, so we have that set up from there to there. That's that size, so we can have the pieces cut to this size, and then we can make the small brush boxes up. So what we do is we get a plain sheet, one of them, and the drill, 3.5mm drill bit, line that up, and then simple case of we just go through each of them holes. Once we've done all the holes, end of the bench, and we just complete them. So the first drill is just to mark them out. So there's ones that I've done previous, Blue Peter style. After we've done that, so these are the side ones. We're not going to see the top edge because that'll be covered by a top piece and a bottom piece. To get it nice, just a nice finish, we use a metal edge. So that's a deburring blade for pipe. What we do is we just put it on the grinder just to give it a rough edge, and then we can scrape along that, and it polishes up the edge, takes off the saw marks, and then we get that nice and smooth. And after that, we then get our deburring tool, and then we can deburr the edges, scrape the edges, so no sharp edges. So to go through each piece of these is, it does take a long time. That's why, it's not a cheap product because of the amount of man hours that go into it. Our top and bottom sections are done very similar, but what we also do is we cut a 45-degree notch in, so we use our jigsaw. So we've got the jigsaw, and we put the edge on here, so it runs at 45, and then we can adjust that so that we're just taking off those corners. We just want to take off the sharp corners at the end of the day, and then again we go through and we polish up the edges so that, I don't know if you can see there, it gives a nice clean edge rather than a rough edge. It's difficult to see on the camera, I know. And then for the top ones we also have a template, because we like to put the thumb holes in the top, so you can lift that out of the filter easy enough. So again, we've got a template with 2 pre-drilled holes in, and we get our piece of plastic, piece of polypropylene, use the 3.5mm drill again, drill in there, and then we use the step cutter. So we've got the step cutter, put that on the drill, and then we can drill through to about 25 to 30mm. After that's been done, then we deburr it, get it nice and smooth. We don't like any sharp edges. It gives a more professional look and a professional feel to the filters. So once we've done all that, then it's time to put the filter together. So we get 2 sides, We get a top and a bottom. We set up the correct depth that we need. And I use just another piece of 9mm polyprop just to get the correct depth. And then we clamp it all together nice and square. So I use the square edge of the workbench, and then we clamp these up. And once that's all clamped up, we use our welder. So we've got our welder, and first of all we use a tacking nozzle. So we tack them in place, and that holds it in position. Once we've tacked it, we use our welding nozzle, and we have a bit of welding rod. Can find some. There we go. So we have our 4.5mm welding rod, and then that is fed through the gun. Bear with me. So we feed that through the gun. That heats it up and melts it into position. So you push it into the gap, and that melts it into position. It's a bit like using a silicone gun, but it's with heat, and it gives a really strong finish. Once we get that frame made up, then we put the brush in. Get the brush. That will go through the hole. If I can find the hole. There you go. We bend that over. I'll use my thumb for now, but it's hard work with your thumb. We use pliers for that. Bend those over. Once we've got all those brushes in, then we have some cover strips. And the cover strips are grooved out, and they go over the ends to cover those sharp ends, because they are sharp. They're stainless steel, and they come pre-cut, but they come with protection on, just so we don't get caught by them. I'll show you a frame. So there's one I made earlier, as they say. So when we do these, we don't just do one at a time. We do we'll do about 15 or 16 sets of these. We order 200 brushes at a time, and then we make a full set, a full production run up. It's just quicker to do a full production run rather than the individual ones. So we'll do a full production run of these larger ones, and then we'll do a full production of the smaller ones. So the smaller ones, and there's the brush for that. And there's your brush box. So there's a big difference in size. So there you go. I like using the bigger filters. You've got roughly 4 times the area of one of these small ones, so you get a lot more flow through. These will do up to about 1,000 gallons, 1,000 gallon pond, about 4,000 litres an hour. And this you can do about, we put a 10,000 litre an hour pump on for running through 2 brush boxes. And brush boxes catch all the dust. They're fantastic. I mean, you've seen some of the other videos. A particular one for you to watch on our YouTube channel would be the how to clear, I think it's called How to Clear the Gigantic Pond. And that pond is 30,000 gallons, about 130,000 litres. And we've got 8 brush boxes clearing it. Cleared it in 3.5 weeks, and I've been cleared for 3 years. So they do work really, really effectively. Well, there we go. That's how we'll get crack on and get all these made up, all these frames. We've got brushes coming in soon, so I like to have the frames made up, and then I can just slot the brushes in, weld on the cover strips. We've got the cover strips there. Weld on those cover strips, and we're ready to go. Then I can get on to making the filters. Right, thanks for watching.